Amanda sat at the old oak table, the morning light casting a warm glow across the kitchen of their cosy suburban home. The scent of freshly brewed coffee filled the air. Kevin, her husband of 6 years, was pacing back and forth, a mixture of excitement and nervous energy in his step. "Can you believe it, Amanda? An offer from Jason to work in his firm, in the city." Kevin's eyes sparkled with the prospect of this new adventure. Amanda smiled, her heart a mix of emotions. "It's a big step, Kevin. Are we ready for such a change?" Her voice trembled slightly, betraying her uncertainty. Kevin stopped pacing and sat next to her. He took her hand, his touch reassuring. "I know it's sudden, but think about it. This could be the break we've been waiting for, a chance to really make something of ourselves." She looked into his eyes, seeing the ambition that had always driven him. "But what about our life here? Our friends, your parents? This is our home." "We'll visit, of course, and my parents will understand. They've always wanted the best for us." Kevin's voice was full of conviction. Amanda nodded slowly, her mind racing with images of the bustling city life, so different from their quiet existence. "And what about the cost of living there?" "The city is expensive, Kevin." "That's the best part." Jason mentioned the salary. "It's more than double what I make now. We could finally get that bigger apartment. Maybe even start thinking about having a kid," Kevin said, his enthusiasm infectious. Amanda couldn't help but get caught up in his excitement. A new life in a vibrant city full of possibilities was enticing. "It does sound amazing," she admitted, her apprehension giving way to a sense of adventure. Kevin squeezed her hand gently. "We're in this together, Amanda. Whatever happens, we'll face it as a team. I can't do this without you." Her heart swelled with love for this man who had been her rock since the day they met. "Okay, let's do it," she said with a newfound determination. Kevin's face lit up with a broad grin. "That's my girl. This is going to be our new adventure. A fresh start in a new city." Amanda stood up, her decision made. She walked over to the window, looking out at the street they had called home for so many years. It was time to say goodbye to this chapter of their lives and embrace the unknown. "Let's start packing, Mr. Future City Man," she joked, trying to hide the nervous flutter in her stomach. Kevin joined her at the window, wrapping his arms around her. "Together, Amanda, we're going to make it big. Just you wait and see." As they stood there, the world outside seemed to hold its breath, waiting for them to take their first step towards a new beginning. The city skyline loomed ahead, a tapestry of lights and towering buildings against the twilight sky. Kevin drove through the bustling streets, his eyes reflecting the city's vibrant energy. Amanda gazed out the window, her heart racing with both excitement and a hint of apprehension. "This is it, Amanda. Our new life starts here," Kevin said, his voice filled with awe and anticipation. The car turned into the driveway of a sleek, modern apartment building. "Wow, Kevin, this place is incredible," Amanda murmured, her eyes wide as she took in the luxurious facade. Kevin chuckled, his pride evident. "Wait till you see inside. It's even better." He helped her out of the car and led her into the building. The lobby was spacious and exquisitely decorated, with artwork adorning the walls. Their new apartment was on the 15th floor. As they entered, Amanda was taken aback by the view of the city through the expansive windows. The apartment was spacious, with contemporary furnishings and a sense of sophistication she wasn't used to. "It's beautiful, Kevin, but it's so different from our old home," Amanda said, feeling a twinge of nostalgia. Kevin wrapped his arms around her from behind, looking out at the city lights. "I know it's a big change, but think of all the opportunities here, the people we'll meet, the places we'll go. It's a new chapter for us." Amanda leaned back into his embrace, trying to let go of her reservations. "It's just a lot to take in, but I trust you, and I'm excited about what the future holds." In the following weeks, Kevin immersed himself in his new job. He often came home late, buzzing with stories of his day, the deals he was making, and the influential people he was meeting. One evening, as they sat down for a rare dinner together, Amanda tried to bridge the growing gap. "Tell me more about your day, Kevin. What's it like working with Jason again?" Kevin's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "It's amazing, Amanda. The pace is relentless, but the thrill is unlike anything I've experienced. And Jason, he's a genius. We're working on some big projects that could really put us on." Amanda listened, her heart sinking slightly. Kevin's world seemed to be moving faster than she could keep up with. "That sounds incredible. I'm really proud of you," she said, forcing a smile. "And how was your day? Have you explored the city yet?" Kevin asked, reaching for her hand across the table. "A little sadly," she replied. "I took a walk around the neighborhood. It's all so new and overwhelming. I miss our old friends and the simplicity of our previous life." Kevin squeezed her hand gently. "Give it time, Amanda. The city has so much to offer. We'll make new friends, and you'll find your own place here, I promise." As they finished dinner, the city outside buzzed with a life of its own. Amanda watched as Kevin's eyes often drifted to the window, drawn to the allure of the city that never sleeps. She wondered if she would ever feel the same pull, or if the city of dreams would remain just a bit out of her grasp. Months turned into a year, and the city that once felt like a dream began to show a different face to Amanda. The warmth of their cozy suburban life seemed like a distant memory. Kevin, once the loving and attentive husband, was transforming into someone Amanda barely recognized. One evening, Amanda prepared a simple but heartfelt meal, hoping to recapture some of their old magic. Kevin arrived late, his face etched with lines of stress and fatigue. "Sorry I'm late. The meeting with the investors ran over," Kevin said, barely glancing at the dinner table as he loosened his tie. Amanda tried to hide her disappointment. "It's okay, I kept dinner warm. How was your day?" Kevin started eating, his mind clearly elsewhere. "Exhausting. You wouldn't believe the kind of people I have to deal with now. So demanding and pretentious. Not like us at all." Amanda noticed the USE didn't seem to include her anymore. "But you're doing well, aren't you? Everyone must be so proud, especially your parents." Kevin scoffed. "My parents. They don't understand the first thing about this world. They're happy in their simple, little bubble. I've outgrown that." Amanda felt a sting at his words. "They love you, Kevin. We both come from humble beginnings. Don't forget that." Kevin waved her off. "That's the past, Amanda. We need to look forward, not back. You should start thinking about fitting in more with my circle. It's about time you upgraded your wardrobe, don't you think?" Amanda looked down at her clothes, a simple dress she had loved for its comfort and simplicity. "What's wrong with how I dress?" "It's not just your dress, Amanda. It's everything. You're still living in our old world. This is the city. You need to keep up." Kevin's tone was sharp, his patience thin. Amanda felt a mix of anger and sadness. "So, I'm not good enough for your new lifestyle." "It's not about being good enough. It's about being appropriate for the situation. My colleagues' wives, they know how to present themselves. You need to learn from them," Kevin said, his voice void of the warmth it once held. Amanda's heart sank. The man she married, who used to find her perfect in every way, was now picking her apart. "I'll try to do better," she whispered, feeling a part of her break inside. Kevin stood up, kissing her forehead as if in an afterthought. "Good. I'm meeting Jason and some partners at the club. Don't wait up." As the door closed behind him, Amanda was left alone in the silence of their luxurious apartment, her dinner untouched. She looked at her reflection in the window, the city lights casting long shadows. The woman staring back at her was a stranger, lost in a world she didn't recognize, married to a man she no longer knew. The rift between Amanda and Kevin widened with each passing day. The city that once held promises now echoed with the loneliness of unspoken words and growing distance. Amanda tried to bridge the gap, but Kevin seemed more interested in his new life than in their marriage. One evening, as they prepared for a dinner hosted by one of Kevin's business partners, the tension reached a breaking point. Amanda, dressed in her favorite blue dress, hoped to rekindle some of the affection they once shared. Kevin, adjusting his tie in front of the mirror, glanced at her and frowned. "You're wearing that dress, Amanda. We've talked about this. You need to dress the part." Amanda looked down at her dress, hurt flickering in her eyes. "What's wrong with it?" Kevin sighed, his impatience thinly veiled. "It's not about elegance, it's about fitting in. You look like you're going to a casual brunch, not a high-profile dinner." Amanda's voice trembled. "I don't have the fancy dresses that the other women wear. I'm doing the best I can." "That's just it, Amanda. Your best isn't good enough anymore. We're not in our old town. This is the city, and appearances matter," Kevin retorted. Amanda felt a surge of anger. "So now I embarrass you. Is that it? The woman you married is now an embarrassment because she doesn't glitter like the city." Kevin's expression hardened. "It's not about embarrassment. It's about adapting, evolving. You've stayed the same while everything else has changed. You need to step up, Amanda." Amanda's heart ached. "I'm still the same person you fell in love with. If that's not enough for you anymore, then maybe..." "Maybe what?" Kevin challenged, his eyes cold. "Maybe we're not who we thought we were. Maybe this city, this lifestyle, has changed us too much," Amanda whispered, her voice breaking. Kevin looked at her, a mixture of frustration and something akin to regret in his eyes. "I don't have time for this, not now. We're going to be late. Just try to blend in tonight." With that, he walked out of the room, leaving Amanda to gather her shattered emotions. She looked at her reflection in the mirror, seeing a woman torn between her love for her husband and the painful realization that their world was fracturing around her. As they arrived at the dinner, Amanda plastered a smile on her face, playing the part of the dutiful wife. Inside, she felt like an outsider, watching the man she loved becoming a stranger, lost in a sea of superficiality and ambition. The rift between them, once a small crack, was now a chasm too wide to bridge. The dinner party was in full swing, a lavish affair with an air of sophistication that made Amanda feel more out of place than ever. The clinking of glasses and the low hum of conversation filled the opulent dining room. Kevin was deep in conversation with his colleagues, his laughter louder and more frequent than Amanda had ever heard. Feeling isolated, Amanda drifted to the edge of the room, her gaze lingering on the city lights outside. She was startled when a voice broke through her reverie. "You seem a world away from all this," said a man with a friendly smile. He was elegantly dressed, his demeanor confident yet unassuming. Amanda turned, offering a polite smile. "I guess I'm still adjusting to this kind of lifestyle. I'm Amanda, by the way." "Robert," he introduced himself, extending his hand. "I'm a partner in one of Kevin's ventures. You have a look of someone not quite sold on the glitz of city life." Amanda laughed softly, a genuine sound amidst the forced pleasantries of the evening. "Is it that obvious? I suppose I'm just more comfortable with simplicity." Robert nodded, his eyes understanding. The city can be overwhelming. It changes people. Sometimes not for the better. His words struck a chord in Amanda. "You think the city changes people?" "I've seen it happen. Ambition and success are intoxicating, and not everyone can handle it." Robert's gaze shifted to where Kevin was holding court. Amanda followed his gaze, her heart heavy. Kevin's always been ambitious, but I didn't think it would. Change him. Robert finished for her. "It's a common story here. But remember, not all change is irreversible. Sometimes it just takes a moment of realization to find your way back." Their conversation was interrupted when Kevin approached, a possessive arm sliding around Amanda's waist. "There you are. I've been looking for you." "Robert, I hope you're not boring my wife with business talk." "Not at all. Amanda interjected quickly. We were just discussing the city. Kevin's smile didn't quite reach his eyes. Well, let's not keep our hosts waiting. Nice talking to you, Robert. As they rejoined the party, Amanda's mind was a whirl of thoughts. Robert's insights had shed light on the growing unease she felt about Kevin and the life they were leading. She watched Kevin laugh and joke with his associates. The man she loved was there, but he was shrouded in a persona she no longer recognized. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Amanda was polite but distant, her mind replaying her conversation with Robert. Doubts and shadows crept into her heart, the unease growing stronger. Was this the life she wanted? Was the man she married still there, beneath the facade of success and ambition? As they left the party, Amanda looked up at the starless city sky, feeling more lost than ever. The doubts about their life, about Kevin, and about their future together were no longer just shadows in her mind. They were becoming a haunting reality. The following weeks were a maelstrom of unease for Amanda. The conversation with Robert at the dinner party had ignited a flicker of doubt that she couldn't extinguish. She watched Kevin, now a stranger in their shared home, with a growing... One evening, as they sat in their living room, Kevin absorbed in his phone and Amanda lost in her thoughts. She decided to confront the gnawing doubts. "Kevin, can we talk?" Amanda's voice was tentative, yet firm. Kevin looked up, surprised. "Sure, what's up?" "It's about us, about all of this," she gestured around the luxurious room. "I feel like we're losing ourselves in this facade." Kevin's expression turned defensive. "Facade? Amanda, this is success. This is what we've worked for." "But at what cost, Kevin? You've changed. We've changed." "I spoke with Robert at the party, and he mentioned how the city changes people. I'm afraid it's changing us too," Amanda confessed, her voice laced with worry. Kevin scoffed, his patience waning. "Robert, what does he know about us? But he made sense, Kevin. Look at us, at what we've become. Is this really the life we wanted?" Amanda's eyes were pleading. Kevin stood up abruptly, his face hardening. "Yes, it is. I wanted success, and I've achieved it. I thought you wanted this too. I wanted happiness, not just success. I wanted us, not this." Amanda's voice broke, revealing her pain. Kevin paced the room, frustration evident in his steps. "What do you want me to do, Amanda? Give all this up? Go back to our old life?" "I don't know, Kevin, but I know that this isn't us. This isn't the life we dreamt of," she replied, tears brimming in her eyes. Kevin stopped pacing, looking at her. There was a momentary flash of the man she once knew, but it vanished as quickly as it appeared. "I can't go back, Amanda. I won't. This is who I am now." Amanda felt a cold realization settle in her heart. "And I don't know if I can live with who you've been." The room fell silent, the chasm between them wider than ever. In the days that followed, Amanda felt a growing resolve to seek the truth. About Kevin, about his business, and about the life they were leading. She started reaching out, discreetly asking questions. Her inquiries leading her down a rabbit hole of half-truths and hidden realities. One afternoon, she met with Robert in a quiet cafe. "Robert, I need to know the truth about Kevin's business, about what's really going on." Robert looked at her, a somber expression on his face. "Amanda, are you sure you're ready to hear it? I need to know. I can't live in ignorance anymore," she implored. Robert sighed, his voice low. "Kevin's success isn't as straightforward as it seems. There are deals and choices made that are morally ambiguous. He's entangled in a web of his own making, and it's not easy to untangle without Amanda felt her world tilt. Consequences. What kind of consequences? Financial, legal, personal. It's a complex situation, Amanda. And it's dangerous to poke around without knowing the full extent of it, Robert warned. Amanda nodded, her mind racing. The truth was more complicated and darker than she had feared. She thanked Robert and left, her thoughts in turmoil. As she walked back to their apartment, Amanda knew that her quest for truth was just beginning. Unraveling these truths meant possibly unraveling the life she had known with Kevin. But the alternative, living in a lie, was no longer an option. The unraveling had begun, and there was no turning back. In the weeks that followed her meeting with Robert, Amanda grappled with the revelations about Kevin and the life they had built. The luxury of their apartment felt oppressive, each opulent piece a reminder of the truths hidden beneath the surface. One evening, as a storm raged outside, mirroring the turmoil in her heart, Amanda sat in the living room, waiting for Kevin to return. The door opened and Kevin stepped in, drenched from the rain, his expression weary. "Kevin, we need to talk," Amanda said, her voice steady despite the pounding of her heart. Kevin, looking surprised by her tone, took off his coat and sat down. "What's going on, Amanda?" "It's about us, about everything. I can't live like this anymore, in a world built on half-truths and compromises of what's right," she said, her resolve. Kevin's face hardened. "What are you talking about?" "I know about the business, Kevin. The deals, the moral ambiguities. I spoke with Robert. I know everything." Amanda's voice was firm, yet tinged with sadness. Kevin stood abruptly, anger flashing in his eyes. "You had no right to go behind my back. That's my world, my business. You don't understand the pressures, the choices I have to make." "But I do understand, Kevin. That's why I can't be a part of it anymore. I miss the man I married, the life we dreamed of. This isn't us. This isn't me," Amanda implored, her eyes filled with tears. Kevin paced the room, his frustration evident. "So what? You want to leave? Throw..." "It's not about what we've built materially, Kevin. It's about what we've lost along the way. Our values, our love, our connection. I can't ignore that for the sake of comfort and luxury," Amanda said, her voice breaking. Kevin stopped pacing, looking at her. For a moment, the facade cracked, and the vulnerability in his eyes was visible. "Amanda, I don't know if I can go back to who I was. This world, it changes you." "I know, Kevin, and maybe it's too late for us, but it's not too late for you to find your way back, to remember who you were, who you can still be." Amanda reached out, her hand trembling. Kevin looked at her hand, then at her, a mix of emotions crossing his face. Finally, he turned away. "I don't know if I can, Amanda." As the storm outside continued to rage, Amanda knew her decision was made. She couldn't live in the shadow of the man Kevin had become. She needed to find her own light again, even if it meant walking away from the life she once thought she wanted. "Then I have to walk away, Kevin. I have to find my own path, as you need to find yours," Amanda said, her voice a whisper against the thunder. Kevin didn't stop her as she packed a bag and headed for the door. She took one last look at the man she once loved, now a stranger in the storm of his own making. As Amanda stepped out into the rain, the drops mingling with her tears, she felt a sense of release. The journey ahead was uncertain, but she embraced the storm, ready to rediscover the happiness and truth she had lost in the glittering lights of the city. In that moment, Amanda knew that the real journey was just beginning. A journey back to herself,